Welcome to the Homegrown Haven. In August of 2025, my husband Carl and I, with our 2-year-old son George and Cocker Spaniel Arnie, moved into our forever home in Herefordshire. A bungalow in need of refurbishment and a 1-acre garden in need of some serious TLC. There is so much work to do, but we are not alone. My parents, Martin and Cheryl, are sharing the adventure as 3 generations live under one roof, sharing love, laughter and hard work as we create a family home and a kitchen garden. A no-dig approach to growing organic fruit and veg. If this approach interests you, we would love you to like, subscribe and follow us as we make our ambitions a reality.
Hello, welcome back to the Homegrown Haven. It's a week now since my mum moved in. She's currently out with Cheryl, shopping and dining, as is the lady's way, and they're having a lovely time. She's very settled, she's very happy. She had lots of lovely cards and flowers. I don't think my mum could be happier right now. The weather has helped, it's glorious, has been all week. So that means that our neighbour Dave, the builder, has taken the opportunity to start on the patio, and I'm labouring, which is what I told you last time, but there's been a lot more of it and I'll show you in a moment. Of course, the last couple of weeks we've concentrated on the home lodge, the granny annexe, but of course work doesn't stop in the garden, so let's start by having a look round at what's been going on whilst we've been concentrating on the home lodge. So like I said, they're out at the moment, so I'll take the opportunity to have a quick scan of the patio as it stands. They're very large slabs, they're 900 by 600, they're very heavy, but they're very attractive. I mean, it's all very subjective. Some people might not like it, some people will love it, but we like it. It's currently drying. You can see the bit we did this morning. We just worked a half day today. They're not quite perpendicular to the lodge because, of course, although it's my mum's patio, we will be one day extending it along the front of the bungalow. So the slabs have to line up with the path along the front of the bungalow, otherwise it's going to look odd. But Dave's doing a superb job. It's looking fantastic. We do now have all the edging to do, lots of cuts, which will take a lot of time and a lot of slabs. But progress has been good. I'm very pleased with it. Of course, we moved in August, so we've been here 7 or 8 months, and we're still learning about the garden. But this camellia was here when we got here, and I'm very pleased with how this part of the garden has turned out. It's got the ugly oil tank. The oil tank we now can't afford to fill, but yeah, I'm very pleased with how the woodland spring plants have developed in this area. Talking of which, for those of you who've been around a while, started with us from the beginning, you will know that the day we moved in, this was an ugly, unkept pond, more of a swamp than a pond. So we filled it in, emptied out the water, and we now have a lot of perennials growing. There's a few dahlias in there that I don't dig out, I leave them in, I just cover them with a few inches of compost, and some peonies, and they're starting to develop, and I've put these supports over them so that they grow through them and don't flop. Peonies do have a habit of flopping, but again, I'm very happy with how that's developing. Another area I'm very happy with is my little wildflower area around the cigar tree. It's been absolutely delightful. Started with the snowdrops, then the primroses, now the daffodils, and it's been absolutely beautiful. The rose bed isn't exactly beautiful now, but it's full of promise for the summer ahead. Some of these roses were here when we got here, and I moved them here. Some we brought with us. A couple A couple of my customers had flowers and asked me to put the spent roses in the compost bin, but I just cut them up, made cuttings out of them, and some of them took, and they're in here now. Plants for free. Fantastic. But yeah, looking forward to seeing this in the summer. These forsythias came from Mum's garden. We had a tiny little space at the back of the box body van, so I dug them up and they were slipped in and the shutters put down, and they've come up and I've put them straight in. And all the way along here, my intention is to plant perennial or herbaceous shrubs, so that they'll soften the edges of this rather stark wall. Dave will render it and we'll paint it, but still a very sharp, straight edge. And I think once these shrubs will get some more grow up, I'll keep their form dome-like, and they'll just grow slightly over the patio and they'll soften the edges. I think that's the best we can do there. Well, the vegetable beds are still largely empty. We have some sweet peas on these obelisks. We've got garlic, onion sets, broad beans and peas in the ground. But it is still only March and there's plenty going on in the greenhouse. I'm very pleased with how it's developing, trying to be patient. I think the highlight in the garden at the moment has to be this flowering cherry. It's called the Bride, and although it's in its first year, it is absolutely stunning. This will be really quite a feature in a few years' time. It's beautiful now, absolutely stunning. And we have a further 2 different varieties of flowering cherry just down there. Another job ticked off the list. Carl helped me put the net roof on the fruit cage this afternoon. It's on, it's nice and tight. I've just got to go around in the week with a pair of scissors, cut the cable ties off to tidy it up, and the skirt that's around the edge from the excess, just to make it look neat and tidy. But the main job is done. The fruit is now fully protected. I'm pleased to see that the bees can pass through the net. I've seen them doing that already. Well, in the greenhouse I've got lots of onion seeds or seedlings. I've got leeks, New Zealand spinach, lettuce. In the ground we've got garlic and radish. Some bedding plants that we bought very, very small because it's more economical to do so. Then we've got more onions, multi-sown beetroot, peppers and some lettuce. And then through in the little separate area I have more garden peas, more radish and some brassicas started off. But there's still plenty of time, there's no need to panic. I didn't have very good germination with celery. I've never had success with celery. I had, out of the 20 or so that I sowed, I got 3 seedlings. We'll see, I don't hold out much hope. But EU dares wins, Rodney. Oh yeah, and the gutters have got peas in. Lovely to see the 2 blackcurrant bushes I brought from the allotment are now budding up. A few leaves on them. The rhubarb looks fantastic. I think we could take a picking from that. The strawberry and blackberry bed is doing okay, and each one of the blackberries that I bought from the allotment is showing buds, signs of life. Superb. And just as an aside, the 9 fruit trees that we planted to start our orchard, they were bare root, and I've checked them all and they all have buds and they're all alive and showing promise of future crops to come. What a difference it makes when the sun shines. I didn't plant a single one of these daffodils. They were all here when we got here. What a display. And so many more yet to flower. Another development is how to use the water in the IBC, which is collected off the roof of the shed. So I've fitted a tap, run a hose, and I've buried it. You can't really see it, but it goes down to where I'm filling my yellow bucket. In the fullness of time, I want to put a galvanised dip tank here to fill my watering cans from the trough. But in the meantime, this blue bucket will have to do. I'm gonna clean the van. You can see it's not much of a, it's just the pressure from the height and the capacity of the IBC that is making the hose flow. But that is more than sufficient. We'll make it work until we come up with a better idea. But I can now use the water from the IBC. I'd just like to say thank you to Sue at My Bountiful Acre. Her channel sort of mirrors ours a little bit. She bought a property about the same time as us. It's about an acre, and she's developing it as a garden and as a kitchen garden, so go and check out the channel. But she's a bit of a seed maestro. I always think I'm doing well till I watch her channel and I realise I need to raise my game. But I'd like to thank her for the tip regarding blackcurrants. She took some cuttings off her blackcurrant bush and I thought, right, I've got a blackcurrant bush, why don't I try it? And I'm really pleased. And yesterday I spotted my first little root coming out the bottom. So I'm really happy with that. Thanks very much for the tip. I have a problem now. What on earth do I do with all... Oh, they smell fantastic. With all these blackcurrant bushes. I don't know, but it's just lovely to create new plants, isn't it? So thanks, Sue. Now I've got a problem. There is one job I need to do sooner rather than later, and that is to do with the step-over trees. Now, here's a very good example of what the step-over should look like. It's running along the cane as it should, but it has lots of stubs, and each one of those little tips, those little branches, will bear fruit. But here's one that won't, because it has no vertical small branches. Oh, yes it does. It has one, but that's not sufficient. And if I want it to grow along the cane, what I have to do is promote growth. So what I need to do, I'm not sure you can see that well because of the chippings background, is shorten each one of these horizontal branches by about 1/3. I don't know if I'm brave enough to do that, but there's one, and there's two. So what that will now do is it will promote shoots to come off the main branches, and then I'll trim those back to 3 buds, and that will produce fruit of the future. It will also promote more horizontal growth so that they can reach the end of their respective canes. So I've got to do that to each of these stepovers. There's another one. They're just 2 horizontal sticks basically, and I need tips off them on which to grow the fruit. So again, there and there, and I'm going to do that to all of them. The 2 I bought this year, I'm not sure you can see, but they are now starting to break bud, and I will be able to train those new branches that form along this cane and create the last 2 stepovers of this alley. That would be lovely. Of course, developing a kitchen garden as we are doesn't mean it just has to be vegetables and fruits. It can be an attractive thing too. So with that in mind, I've already planted some of these gladioli bulbs in the pond bed, but I'm going to plant some every 2 or 3 weeks so that through the summer we get a little flash of colour over a longer period of time. We may even cut them and take them in the house as cut flowers, I'm not sure, but I shall be planting some more of these today. And then flowers I'm sowing today, Cosmos Candy Floss Mix, Cleome, I like those, I was given some of those by a neighbour once, lovely flowers. Candy Tuft, Fairy Mixed, not happy with the name but I like the plants. And Gypsophilia, which I think again is something that people use in flower displays and so on. So I'm going to sow those today and we'll see how they develop. George's infatuation with water doesn't seem to be abating any. He goes from water source to water source, getting wetter and wetter. Funny. You certainly are. Oh, where's that going now? What are you going to water? Oh, the daffodils. No, no, the digger. Yep. You think it's going to grow into a real one, George? Uh-oh. Looks like that lot went down him. We have a fire in the house every night. And yet, somehow, the wood store keeps increasing. To the point where I'm now storing it outside. And I shall be bringing more home tomorrow. This is excellent news.
Oh no!
Why would you put your feet in it?
It's 10.
The only conclusion I can draw is he's going to follow his granddad and be an army diver. Oops! Up you get, mate. You're alright.